Hey guys, so in chapter 3, Greg Kugel introduces us to the Columbo tactic. We'll be covering it for the next 4 chapters. There are 3 ways of launching this model. There are 3 ways of using the Columbo tactic. And this chapter covers the first way, which has to do with gathering information. The best way to do that is to basically ask, what do you mean by that? So essentially, we're trying to just understand better. We're trying to clarify that person's meaning. We're trying to understand them so that we don't misrepresent them. Um, the benefits are it does immediately actually put you in control of the conversation. But the Columbo tactic is it's a disarming way to go on the offensive with carefully selected questions that productively advance the conversation. And that is just the essence of the Columbo tactic gathering information aspect. I'm going to just use one of the 4 examples. He discusses 4 examples in the book, and I do recommend that you buy the book and read it for yourself, because then you can take the time to read it slowly and to think about it and to really absorb it. So let's discuss challenge 1. If somebody says to you, it's not rational to believe in God, there's no proof, all right? How do you answer that? So with the Columbo tactic, you actually don't need to know how to answer that. All you need to know is how to ask questions. And you can, the way I understand him is latch onto one aspect of what they've said. So what he did with the witch from Wisconsin in chapter 1 is when she referred to abortion as baby killing, he latched onto that phrase, and then he just pressed in on it and pressed in on it, and until she recognized that she had an inconsistency. She said she valued all life, but she had a belief that was violating her other belief. So you pick a phrase and just delve deeper into that. So in this instance, you could delve into the word rational, or you could delve into the word God, or you could delve into the word proof. So you could ask, the examples he gives are things like, you could ask, what do you mean by God? What kind of God is it that you reject? What specifically is irrational about believing in God? And if you're concerned about proof for God's existence, what kind of proof would satisfy you? So really, it's I suppose the hardest part is knowing what kind of questions to ask. Um, it's easy to pick a word and say, all right, I would like to focus on that. What am I going to ask? But I think if you genuinely care about understanding that person's point of view, the questions will come. Plus, as they answer you, you're going to start thinking, and the thinking is going to lead to questions. And so the Columbo tactic focuses on questions. We discussed this chapter in the group tonight, and um, many points were made around the concept of asking questions. And I mean, we think it's great, but we do want to also recognize and remember and hold on to the fact that we are called to reconcile people to God. And so we are actually called to do more than just ask questions. But we're not going to judge the tactic and strategy just yet. We're going to get to the end of the book, and then we can have a very good overview discussion. But at the moment, the feeling is that the Bible does call us to boldness, and that boldness, as someone pointed out in the group tonight, that boldness is the work of the Holy Spirit in us. And we are also called to be ready in and out of season to give an answer for the hope that lies within. And so we definitely can't stay at the questioning phase. So it'll be interesting to see how Kugel takes this, what direction he takes with this. I mean, we're only on chapter 3. We've still got a long way to go, but we are preempting the need in this discussion for more commitment than just asking questions. So I want to close with what Kugel says at the end, towards the end of chapter 3. He says, as the dialogue continues, so remember, you're asking questions, you're trying to understand, you're just having this diplomatic, friendly conversation. And as the dialogue continues, you do come into a position where you can, as he says, gently guide the conversation into a more spiritually productive direction with additional questions. And I think this whole Columbo tactic questions thing is going to be a journey towards a more productive direction with additional questions. And what we discussed in our group is the way we would like that to look for us is we would like to move towards the boldness of Ephesians 6. And we'd like to also remember that the Bible calls us to be ready to give an answer for the hope and to do it in meekness and in fear, and that we are moving towards that when we recognize that we're moving towards the more spiritually productive direction. That's what we mean by it. And ultimately, we want to be reconciling people to God.